Today I will be talking about non-traditional versus traditional classes, lectures, studying abroad, and my development of cultural awareness. The big topics I will go through is how the International Enrichment Seminar class helped me gain experience and knowledge about what a future studying abroad experience will be like, and how my cultural awareness has changed through this semester by these lectures and by the benefit of having non-traditional classes to go into fairs and UNCC international events. Going into this class, I had the impression that this class was mostly going to talk about studying abroad. I have loved traveling and knew I was going to study abroad in college, so I wanted to learn more about that opportunity I had. The class only had a couple opportunities to learn about studying abroad. The class was more involved with culture, which in the end got me prepared for studying abroad, so I am thankful I took it. Before this class, I was under minimization and ethnocentric. I believe that we all had similarities between us no matter the background or culture, so it made us a small world. But I did not focus on how the differences between matter to a big extent. I always thought of myself as accepting because I wouldn't care about the differences, but I learned that acknowledging the differences and caring about them is a whole other part of accepting. The study abroad fair was a non-traditional week assignment that I was thrilled about. I stayed for about an hour just walking up and down the booths of tables. This non-traditional week helped me because I went to a fair I was excited to go to and learn more about studying abroad at UNCC. I picked up pamphlets about studying abroad and used them to help me pick the program to go to next spring in Denmark. During a traditional lecture, we learned about the iceberg model, and it helped me understand what I should look out for during studying abroad. Up until this point, I was just excited to travel, study abroad, and experience a new place. I did not think about the culture I would immerse myself into. By immersing myself into a new culture, I would be able to observe the external culture, but I would also be able to experience and get to understand the internal culture. We also learned about new cultural intersect in class. This lecture helped me understand my experience I would have studying abroad. It helped me gain knowledge on the phases I would go through, which made me feel more comfortable with studying abroad since I knew now what was going to be ahead for me. At this point, I realized that studying abroad would be an experience with many emotions and discoveries, and I was more than excited. Another lecture that I found important was the core cultural values and culture mapping activity sheet. It helped me understand that my beliefs towards these core values are not going to be the same everywhere because different countries value different things and raise people differently. When I study abroad, this is another activity I will keep in mind so I can understand and see if I can notice the host country's values. At this point in the class and semester, I understood that the things we talked about in lectures were to relate to how we view the world and other cultures, and how we should open our minds and try to understand the new culture we are faced with. The lectures gave me connections to learning what to expect or do while studying abroad. I knew now that I had to fully be able to immerse myself in my new country and culture so I could understand the people around me and their values. The DMIS lecture made me realize something more about myself. Like I said in the beginning, I identified with the minimization stage, which I would not have initially expected. I wouldn't have thought that would be my stage and how much room I have to grow if it weren't for this lecture. This was able to help me understand I should be able to grow during my studying abroad opportunity even more than I have grown in this class. Another non-traditional week came along for International Education Week. One of the events I made sure I went to was the Study Abroad panel. I found this as my opportunity to ask a bunch of questions to study abroad alumni at UNCC. They told me about their experiences and how it changes you. I admired the way they talked about studying abroad and how it makes you see the world differently, and it just made me want to go even more. During IEW, I also went to the International Coffee Hour. It was so fun to see everyone there getting along, playing games, as well as hearing a bunch of different accents and languages. This was able to make me feel comfortable engaging with someone from another country, and by going to it more in the future, it can help me prepare before my studying abroad experience by getting to know how to interact with an international student. As the IEW was the last non-traditional week in this class, I will briefly say how important I thought it was. The non-traditional weeks allowed us to actually go out and explore and get involved with our school and the international events they hold rather than just hearing about it. I feel more knowledgeable about UNCC and their international events, and I will be able to keep a lookout for them in the future. As I am studying abroad, I am excited for exploring the country by observing people and everywhere around me. By learning DAE, it helped me understand the process my mind should go through as I people watch during my time there. As I people watch and observe, I will go through the description, analysis, and evaluation process. I will try to process and understand this new culture and their intercultural interactions. Learning about Imek and Edik helped me understand the perspectives that I can gain during studying abroad. I found that yes, I will most likely take place in the outsider's perspective, Edik, but I hope to try and gain some Emek perspective by fully immersing myself while I am there in a different country in Europe. Emek and Edik is something I can use for any culture I encounter, even my own. While this class was not what I expected, I think I learned a lot. This class helped me understand I should immerse myself in a new country to better understand and accept the culture and possibly have even moved me into the acceptance stage. I was able to learn what I should do and expect by studying abroad too. By my immersion in studying abroad, I will be able to gain an international perspective I will be able to keep for the rest of my life. Thank you.